Welcome to another day of Smokin' with Joe. Today we're going to make sausages from scratch, and then I'm going to smoke them in my Bradley P10. But before we get going, make sure you stick around to the very end because we're going to be giving you a discount coupon code for some great deals at bradleysmoker.com. Okay, so this is grass-fed beef. I've already cut it into some small-sized chunks. It's about a 25% fat, 75% meat ratio, and it weighs just under 6 pounds without the container. The other thing is that I've taken out anything I didn't want in my sausages, which is why you make your own sausages. You know, you want to know what's in them. I'll run the meat and the fat through the grinder using the medium-sized cutting plate. And the grinder is just a KitchenAid attachment that I bought for my KitchenAid Mixmaster. It's pretty good for small jobs. You can also fill the casings with it as well, but I'll be using a press-style casing filler. So before we get started, I'm going to do one little thing here, and that's mix the white wine that I have. I have about 150 mils of white wine, which is about 2/3 of a cup. Because I know it weighs 5.8 pounds, I was able to come up with the amount of salt I needed for a 1% by weight ratio. In this case, it was 27 grams of salt. That gives me about 1% salt by weight. And I'm adding 4 grams of Prague powder, so that'll give me about 100 parts per million of nitrate. I just want to stir it all up now, and then I'm going to stick it in the fridge, and that way when I need to use it, it's going to be super cool. And I'm putting the ground beef into a stainless steel bowl. There's ice surrounding it to keep the inside bowl cool. And I want to make sure that it doesn't get warmer than 37 degrees, so I want to work as fast as I can. I'll be mixing it all up in my meat mixer next, so I'm not too worried about how evenly blended the meat and fat is at this point. Probably wondering what this is. This is our sausage casing. It's natural pig gut. So the way it works is you let it soak for about an hour. You rinse off all the salt. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to find the end of it. So you can see I'm sticking my 2 fingers in it. And I'll dip it in the water and lift it up a couple of times. And what that does is, as you can see, is it kind of fills the inside of the pig gut. And I'm going to just run water through it, kind of rinse it out. And that'll also help with lubrication so that when we're stuffing it full of sausage, it doesn't cause any friction and tear it. So you do that to all of them, and that's it. Okay, so what I've got here is a meat mixer, and all it is a kind of a set of blades that I can hand crank. Easier than using a Mixmaster because the Mixmaster can burn out, especially when the meat's kind of frozen. And as you can see, the meat is on the verge of being frozen, but it's still pliable. I'm gonna tuck it in here. It's nice to have it this cold. There we go. Now, I also had the saline mixture in the wine as well in the freezer, and it's really cold. So I'm gonna add it. And lemon zest. Pepper. And lots of garlic. And this is cut fairly chunky. It's not a real fine cut. So if you like garlic, this will be great. If you don't, you probably don't want to do this recipe. I just have to turn it to the edge of the table here like this so that I can turn the crank. I'm just going to mix it until it looks like it's thoroughly mixed up. So that's looking pretty good now, nice and consistent. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this whole unit and pop it into my freezer and just let it sit there and cool down again before I pack it into the sausage press so that I can load the casings with sausage. Okay, so I've packed the garlic press full of the mixed meat here, and I'm going to now squeeze it into the sausage casing. This is how it works. Lay it down, and this screws into the back. Just wet down the nozzle. And there we go. Hold it on. Just keep it in the middle and it goes on quite easily. Now the way this is going to work is I'm just going to hold it here and apply some pressure when I turn the crank. And what that'll do is it'll allow me to load the casing with the right pressure of sausage meat. And that way I won't let it burst, which would be unfortunate. Okay, so here we go. So just slowly turn in the crank and you can see the sausage meat coming out. And we'll just get it going here. And you can sort of tell how it's supposed to work. You just kind of hold your finger on it, and as you can see, it's packing in there pretty good. It's nice and cold. It's what you want. And just keep the pressure on. Don't let it come flying out. And when it comes to making the sausage links, all you do is pinch the sausage and rotate it about 2 or 3 times. Then you go down, find the next length, and rotate it in the opposite direction, and so on. Okay, so it's going to be a very simple setup. All I'm going to do is try and get the internal temperature up to 150 to 160 degrees in the sausages. And I'll be monitoring the temperature with my pocket thermometer here. And I'm going to use alder biscuits. So I'm going to smoke for about 1 hour and 20 minutes, so I only need 4 of them. And we'll pop them in. Beautiful. And okay, so let's set it up here. So temperature, I'm going to set the temperature to 180 degrees. I'm going to set the time to 4 hours. Now I don't actually need to run it for 4 hours. It'll probably be done in about 2 to 3 hours. But you know, I don't want to shut down the smoker. I'm using it as an oven at that point, so I don't want it to cool off. So I'm just going to keep the temperature up around 180. And 1 hour and 20 minutes of smoke, and that's it. We're all set up. Okay, 150, that's exactly what I wanted. Now they were hanging at about 140, so I bumped up the temperature to 195 just to boost the temperature inside, cook them up to 150. So all I have to do now is take them into the kitchen and put them into some ice water to shock cool them to prevent them from continuing to cook. Well, these turned out really well. I'm quite happy with them and they smell great. I've got them in cold water with ice so that they are shock cooled. I want to stop the cooking process. And you know, I can take them out and just pop them into the fridge and they'll last for a week easy. And the other place to put them is in the deep freeze. Use vacuum sealed bags or freezer bags and they'll last for quite a bit longer, obviously. And as promised, here's the discount coupon code for bradleysmoker.com. Make sure you check them out. They've got lots of great deals and lots of great equipment. And if you're looking for more great ideas for smoking food, make sure that you subscribe. We'll be producing a lot more videos, so there's always something new coming out. Till then, see you next time.